What's up, fellas?
Hey, Chad.
Check my mic here.
Mike sounds good, Chad. You're all good.
Right on. Thank you.
I sound okay? How's that?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Nice.
And I'm here.
You're sitting in front of that window though, Brett, right? Because your light's a little,
Oh, yeah.
a little hot.
Let me,
We'll fix that. We'll fix your lighting when I get there
dial that down a little bit, baby.
next month.
Yeah, let's be
Go.
I
I
got
found a really fucking inexpensive ring light that is USB, and it's got a like a doohickey to adjust it. I think I got it at the it was at Five Below. These like dollar stores, but they're like $5 and below. They got tons of that Wuhan, China, electronic stuff. Like not the current cases for your iPhone, but for like 3 models back.
Yeah.
For like $5, but like Otter wants $60 for them. And this ring light, it's like, it's got a $60 grip, like a tech grip to mount it. So I had to buy that from B&H Photo and Video. But the light itself is pretty good for $30. I mean, I'll show you. It's
That's
like,
over 5.
that's $5, but the mount I got in there's probably $30 to $50 which one it is. It's a small rig.
It's all about the mount. I quit listening when you said Wuhan, China, and cases at the beginning. So
Chaille found the brick and mortar AliExpress.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, that's why when we're on the road, I go, oh, fuck, I forgot a cable. I don't say that anymore. I go, there's a Five Below in the next town. We'll get it there.
I've never heard of them.
me neither.
Yeah, they're a chain. They're everywhere now.
It's taken over the dollar store is a broken model.
It's been broken for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when the first dollar store in Southern California opened back. I mean, I think that was probably in the late 70s. I remember waiting in line to go into the 99-cent store.
With your dollar.
Yeah.
I've got one.
Yeah.
It was a thing. We were like, wow, $1. I mean, it's just insane that
It's
now that it's only two. It's like Coke and Pepsi. There's 2 companies that own all the like Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollars. All those are basically the same. 2 companies own both of them. So
I think in Sierra Vista they still have the 99-cent store, but it stays in business because they still sell the meth pipes.
Yeah, it was for a while there. I know
mine.
what you're talking about. It's over there down Fry a little bit.
Yeah.
They had, for a while, I think they were called the 98 plus store or some fucking take on that. And you walk in, and you're like, Jesus, did we hit Chinatown?
Yeah.
We hit that door is a portal to San Francisco. It was so crazy. It's like you can get a live monkey here for 98 cents.
You gotta watch. I feel like if you're getting a live monkey, you should pay premium. I don't feel like that's something you want to try to save money on.
Don't skimp on a monkey.
That could be detrimental.
I'll take a monkey and some of those oil burners.
The original model was consumerism for people who are poor and stupid. There you go. All right, I got 10 items. $10. You could send like the dumbest person to the store with a list, and they couldn't.
I mean, you could go like we get cat. Like Doug is basically giving up on his cat. We're watching the cat, and now we're trying to figure out what to do. And Bingo's like, should we get pet like cat food from the PetSmart or like we'll do we'll get it online.
Get it weight,
we'll get it shipped. I'm like, for a cat that eats the guts out of a lizard, he gets 99-cent store fucking cat food, and he'll like it. So that's a great place for stuff like cat food and hot sauce.
They will fuck you. They will fuck you on pet food if you love your pet when they're old. It's like, my dog's fat. She got fat by eating what she ate, and now I've got her on diet food. She's still fat, but it's $100 a bag.
What are you buying, the Blue Buffalo or something?
Something like that. It was I got to show them. I got to show these fuckers a prescription. It's like on a message I got on my phone from Lorinda. I got to scroll. It takes forever to find this fucking thing because it's like the lights are out. You left the lights on outside. You left the lights on outside. Hey, by the way, did you know you? And then I fucking through those. I wasn't sure if you're home or not. You left the light on up there, and then I'll get
How does she know you left the light on?
Yeah,
because it's bright and
it's all she can see.
It's just
so the one thing she can see annoys her about her husband.
cut it out. I don't want to see.
Yeah. Well, I have a bad habit because the fucking dog works me for, you know, she's an old fucker. So, I mean, I let her get away with it. But sometimes I don't like being fucked with. And it's like, you want to go outside. Okay. So you're going to piss or shit. And I'm going to see you do that. And she'll go out and she'll just fucking double back on me. You know, like you didn't do either, you know, like I got to stand out here referee till I see fluid or shit drop out of her. So, and then she'll come in and I'll give her the handouts. But because my dog is a fucking asshole, I got all them messages for leaving that light on because it's on and I'm set up and then she fucks me. So I got to go out and see what's going on. And then when I come back, I just get all confused and leave. And then I don't.
Hey, Andy, you ever go into the dollar store and walk around for a while and then not buy anything and go back to your car?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what your dog's doing. He goes out, goes, I just want to look around for a while and I'll come back in. He doesn't have to always.
But that's the thing. She'll stand there, you know, and then, you know, like stand there like, what's up, man? You know, you owe me a couple of cookies. And I'll, you know, I just don't want to have the discussion anymore. You know, she's old with tumors and stuff.
Maybe it's performative. Maybe she's like, you know, if I hold it long enough, he'll turn the light on and everyone will get to see me.
Right. And
then he'll get yelled at instead of me.
I think it's progressing because I got like emojis that equal lights on equal heat is equal to heat on heat or something like
Mm-hmm.
So I like, you know, I mean, I learned if nothing else through emojis.
Well, if you don't read, that's really
Right.
the only way you can do it is the picture.
Pictograms.
Yeah, emojis are the only way we can show emotions around here. So I got like, you know, big display of them. So I'm gonna, you know, I'm focusing.
I see, Andy, I see you sending a lot of the.
I could never really get the hang of those. So I don't really do emojis. You know what I just found out? This is driving me crazy on my phone. Is whenever I would try to get an app, it would say, and I'd go, yes, install it. And then it would say double click. And I'd go, bam, bam, double click. And never could get any apps. You know, it's like not work and I'd give up. And, you know, it turns out there's a button on the side that's what they tell you, you know.
Oh, on your phone.
Yeah.
You've been double clicking on the screen?
Yeah, where it says the double click here, and I take that literal, and
there's a thing going, click here, click here, click here.
It points to the side of your phone.
Yeah, but Andy, I did the same thing you've done, so don't feel so bad, okay?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, the fuck, I need a 13-year-old to tell me how to fucking double click.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there are people are like, oh, why are you talking to our child? Because they don't understand apps. What'd you say? I said app.
I just upgraded like from 6 models or 4 models so that there was a change in the hardware layout. There's no more button at the bottom. Now you just touch the screen, which I don't like. But
that was a hard one to get used to.
Yeah, and the thing I just realized that when we were on vacation because I was deleting a bunch of stuff and adding some things. I'm going, Tracy, you got it. What the fuck is going on here? I'm ready to fucking throw this phone. She goes, no, it's just on the button. I go, oh, the button.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. I did.
It.
And I just, that day I was having my computer meltdown is when I learned that because I was just like, I'm clicking and pushing every screen and doing this and nothing would happen. And then
I click it with a flourish.
I think,
he thought his arm movement had something to do with it.
And he's clicking his heels together twice.
Yeah, I mean, I over touch this. I over, click over, whatever it is. If it doesn't make an immediate sound, I'll hit it a couple of times or whatever, and I can never get past. It's like I'll freeze up the cable or whatever by doing that. just panic buttons. It's not even panics. It's just like just push it once and walk away, and I'd be good. Hey, Doc,
welcome to Old White, Confused and Grumpy, everybody.
well, this is the least upset I've been going into this for a while. I'm not really that. This is
you did start off by giving shit to your dog.
Well, yeah, but that's
it might be a light week for Andy Angst. He's just mad at his puppy.
Well, I'm not. She doesn't. I let her get away with it, but I'll just say, don't fucking work me, or whatever. You know. And then
isn't the dog in a fenced-in area?
Yeah, I mean, she could, well, but the thing is what she does that for 80-90% of the time is the handout. And I reward it every time, which has been criticized in other corners.
Hold on now.
No. That's fine. That's fine. But just leave her out there. Leave her out there for 20 minutes. And if she's got to pee or poop, she'll do it. And if she doesn't, she won't. It's just, it doesn't need to be a game.
Yeah, I'm impatient.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. As we get older, it's not as easy to just drop a deuce just on the, at the command. You gotta get on your phone and look at Twitter, maybe go on the fighter and the kids subreddit.
That's your treat.
Waterweed dune hair.
That's your reward.
Squirrel monthly.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a moment to yourself, man. Without the smell of propane fumes.
Some grumpy old bastards cussing at you under his breath.
Another trick.
Lights on and off and a strobe effect. You're just trying to have a moment in the yard.
Yeah, we still play. I'll take her out for a wiffle ball, but I don't hit them very far. Just pop ups into the corner or whatever. But this is how the game ends anymore. She'll take one of the balls and she'll go take it and shit. And then leave the ball over there. And I used to go pick it up, and I'm like,
wait, which one?
I would leave
neither.
I would, go get the ball to try to continue the game and go, God damn it. And after 100 or so times, I stopped.
That's when you want to make sure you're not too high, because if you go over there to pick up the poop and then all of a sudden you realize you've got the ball inside the bag, you're like, oh no.
If you take it a little further and you got to clean off a bat.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, I did it. Oh, shit.
And is it possible that she's leaving the ball over there to try to train you to go pick up the shit?
Maybe.
I'm starting to get smelly out here. Dude.
I should. Well, I'm pretty good about because I got an area to chuck it. People who don't pick up shit a lot of times don't have an area to throw it into their neighbor's yard or whatever. Mine's just an open space. Mine's an open briar. It's a fucking wasteland of briars.
Oh, okay.
But why do you want a wasteland of briars?
But isn't that
little treat sacks all in there?
No, he's throwing.
No, the just raw shit. But doesn't that defeat the purpose of cleaning? Because I don't clean up I'm pretty bad. I don't clean it up like as soon as my dog does it, because I'm in a fenced yard. So I'll go out like on a Thursday and just shovel it all into a bag and throw it out when the garbage comes.
Yeah.
And but that's especially in a rainy spot, isn't that like a foul area? Because I'm bad. Like once a week is bad because I stay away from that area of the yard.
The little creepy. I mean, the neighbor boy, he was over there. He has like weird, like he has snakes and lizards and shit. I don't even know. It's just like hey,
how do you know this, Andy?
I'll just when I see him, I'll go, hey, how's it going, man, or whatever. That's as far as it's gonna get.
He's got a boa constrictor around his.
Yeah, but he had him over there, and I noticed that they they were spotting all the shit around there. And so really the incentive I would have to
wait, hold on, Eddie, you noticed him as you're like Wilson looking over the fence. You notice him like going, hey, there's another one over here, and there's one over here. He's like noticing all this shit in his yard, and he does not have an animal that shits like that.
Oh, well.
Oh man, we're missing this gem.
Oh, we lost.
Andy, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you. No.
Nope.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, you got a loose connection somewhere, Andy.
It's just fucking.
There it is.
You're back.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, this is how I get upset.
Hey, I want to back the story up a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure. The Gaza
When
Strip.
you throw, when you throw the poop into the neighbor's yard, because that got me to thinking about it when Chaille said something. Are you putting it in a bag and chucking the bag?
No, I don't. I mean, neighbor's
Or
yard
if
is
you're
probably the
throwing
wrong.
Poop, how are you picking it up? Do you have the bag in your hand and then?
You go. So when you go to the grocery store and if you get bulk items, they have these plastic gloves. So I'll just grab a handful of those.
Pro tip.
One tip. You can put you can even get, if your hands are like mine, I can do a medium, and I'll put a medium and a large and another large sometimes to do the shit, and then I can peel.
So you're putting on 3 gloves rather than just pick up the poop with the bag and dump it into your own trash. You would rather put on 3 gloves and chuck it into the neighbor's
3 free gloves.
Into
free gloves.
And then still put the gloves in the trash.
Yeah.
You gotta put the gloves in the trash.
I at least pictured you using a shovel and just catapulting.
I'll do that. I'll do that too, but a lot of times it's just easier to scoop it. You know, if you don't mind picking holding shit, that's the thing. I mean, people get squeamish, but I don't mind it. It's like, you know, I don't want to pick up a dead rodent or something like that. It would freak me out. But I'll sling dog shit and I can throw them, you know, she chunks it so I can throw like 3 or 4 shoulder.
Andy, the point is, if you're gonna put on a glove and to throw the shit into the neighbor's yard, why not just have the bag and then put it in the bag and then throw the bag away just in the same exact process you would the glove?
Well, I don't.
The bag is the glove, and
I just
not want it in your garbage.
I throw it stinks. But plus I got
the neighbor.
No, it isn't neighbors. That's the wrong, because there's a dead space underneath our property that's all briars. And the only time I used to throw bottles and stuff. And then one day I saw all the guys who get Deweys out there with the cutting machines, and they are out there, and then it was like, you know, I had to confront my alcoholism, because it was like, you know, they kept stacking them up there, and I was like, I thought maybe it was just one, or there'd be like 3 or 4 bottles, but there were a lot of them down there, and they were all the same brand, so I knew they were all mine. But I wasn't a part of that crew.
Look, this becomes your glove.
Right.
And then you take the poop, which you don't mind touching, through a glove.
Good lesson.
And then do that, and you're done.
That's how you do it if you're in a neighborhood.
Or a human.
But you can, if you can just chuck it somewhere that does it.
Like,
I'll reuse those plastic gloves. I mean, I try not to.
Isn't your garbage? Don't you have a garbage can outside?
Yeah, it's always you know, I don't make enough trash to warrant. I mean, I could put.
So you have a big garbage bag, but there's not a bag in it. You have a big garbage can outside, but there's not a bag in it necessarily. So here's what you do. Here's what we do at the Bretchels. We have a small metal trash can with a lid that we keep on the side of the house. And when I get back from the walk with the dog with the poop bag, I put it in that can. And then on Monday night, trash night, when I take the garbage out, I take all those bags, I dump them into the bag I'm bringing out, seal that up, and put it in the can.
There you go.
Yeah. And that,
let's just go the other way. I'm going to start throwing mine in the neighbor's yard. Come on, guys. Let's all just do it, Andy.
No, I throw it into briars. I mean, I could put something down there I didn't want discovered, and it'd be down there until they got enough drunk drivers to clean that area again. And it's only happened once, and I've been here 5 or 6 years. No, I've been here 10 years. Whatever. I don't know. It was fucking sick part of that. I don't remember. But it's only happened once. So it's like one of them stupid projects that they have on a long list. But that's all it is overgrown briars. And I'll spray Roundup on there because I still want to get in on that lawsuit.
I get chucking it into an area if it's not really the neighbors. It's just it's uncontested, unwalkable.
I could walk the shit 50 feet to a garbage can or do a hook shot.
Yeah, but don't you got to go past the garbage can to throw your glove away?
Like I say, I'll dip them in.
Puts the glove in the mailbox.
You wash
I don't understand the system, Erickson.
I'll take the glove. Here's the system. Sometimes I'll forget. I'll just leave buckets sitting around, and if it rains, I'll take the shitty glove. I got shit on my hand all over. I could smear it. I could paint with it, but I take it and I just kind of rinse my hand off in the bucket, and I'll put that glove back on there and I'll
So
reuse
now
it.
you're rinsing off a shit glove in a rain bucket.
Like a deli
So now you've got like a
Oh.
bucket full of
I don't
shit.
serve it as soup.
And he's got a fucking E. coli farm going.
Oh my
on.
God, totally.
What? Hey man, you should see
That's
my
where
brother Larry.
COVID, that's where COVID started.
I
Andy's
don't even.
slop bucket.
My brother Larry has a wet market in his yard.
I want to.
So do you, brother. So
Yeah,
do
you don't know it, but you do too.
I want to
Yeah.
take this story back again and don't listen to it.
I could pretend that the fucking turkeys don't walk in their own shit and schlep down the side of my hill. It's like, what am I gonna, I have a property that has a lot of feces around.
I hope you never change.
And then so maybe my sense of smell is I don't know. There was something dead under the house.
Oh, are you
For a
sure it was
while.
under the house?
Yeah, that's where
the wind blowing by the briars.
there was a smell.
Did you have your
coming
glove
from-
on?
Oh man, when I was thinking about this, I was like trying to figure out if I should twitch this situation. I didn't want to be the person to do it anyway.
Answer's yes.
But there was a stink under and it stunk for a while because I noticed it, and I don't go down there much. Let's go down all the way to the laundry room. That's 3 flights. I'm an upper level guy. I like to stay up here, and it's like notice, and then I cleaned out. There's a cat litter box down there, so I got new litter and cleaned that, and then it still stunk down there, and I was like, oh, something's dead, as I know that smell. You guys have been around it, or
Yeah.
you can tell. It's like no other. It's like is that?
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
it's coming from
even as little as a mouse that
Right.
you caught in a snap trap, I
uh-huh.
can tell is the minute I walk into the little house.
Yeah,
it's
and
only,
this would
a couple hundred square feet, but I can tell as soon that there's been a trapped mouse for 3 days.
That's in this, whatever this was, it was something that I poisoned, I think, as I put down. I hate to do it, but they were fucking with me and I had to fuck back harder. I was like, if you guys want this oatmeal, there's some shit in here you shouldn't eat.
What
with
did
it.
you put in it?
We had a poison in a
Like an anticoagulant, so they like bleed to death?
well, I don't know what it does.
You don't know. You don't know what you're laying down.
You
in
didn't
your
read
house.
it.
Doesn't read the
Hey man, I'm
instructions.
Sorry,
for vaccination.
sorry.
I'm 4 vaccines in, and I didn't ask any questions. I think I give a shit what the rats have for their last meal, but I let them have. It was a bummer because we didn't have them before, and then the neighbors said they had them, and then all of a sudden, it's like fucking coming into a cabinet. So I killed some. I put down enough poison, and they kept revisiting it. So I assumed there was a few of them. They go home and like, I think I'm a little belly sick, and they're like, lay down over. Apparently, they were all like, lay down over in that corner up under there, get under that tarp. But I never did. So it stunk for like it stunk the whole time. Probably I was gone. And it still stunk when I got back. And then the day, I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about how awful, fucking, I'm going to pull a tarp up looking for dead rats at best. That's the win.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty large area, and it's all covered in plastic on I think dirt. There's fiberglass, all that shit you don't want to touch.
Asbestos.
So
You got
I
your
went down.
gloves.
I went down to the store and I got like 10 of them things that them gelatin things that air freshen.
Oh, like a Glade, an air freshener, the little cone you lift up.
10
Pull them up.
10 for it was dollar store prices. You get 10 for
Sure, bring it
$10.
back.
So I got them and I put them down there, and then I could still smell it, but downstairs it wasn't noticed. I was like, I can't tell. And then there was an offer that she could find somebody from the congregation to come over and do that work. And I'm thinking, well, maybe that might be a chance for her to get to know another dude.
Wait, that's the first thing you thought of?
No,
Man,
I
how
mean,
romantic.
I didn't know. I don't want them over here under any circumstances, even if it's to remove some dead animals under my fucking crawl
Oh my
space.
God,
So I
dude.
called my brother and I go, what is this? I didn't want to Google it. You don't want that shit to come backfire. But what did John Wayne Gacy throw to get rid of this?
Yeah, what if Gacy was just, he had a couple rats wandered out into his basement. He started doing things.
Well, what did he use to cover up what he had down there? And then now I'm thinking, why is Glade, why doesn't Glade just go with Gacy? And like, I would buy a fucking air freshener endorsed by that clown.
With the estate of John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, people coming over there and going, oh, your place always smells so lemony. Oh, thank you. Here, try these handcuffs on. It's a magic trick.
Oh, God damn it.
That fucker at Amazon, all that stuff over there. You just have Amazon drivers under there. Oh man. Oh, you're in.
Oh yeah.
Huh? Yeah, you want to try these handcuffs on? Woo-hoo! But that's, I'd say he was the guy. If you had a neighbor go, what do you fucking bad odors around your place?
Oh, good.
Lost you again.
There you
Hear
go.
that? That's him going in and out.
When it goes ding,
like
ding, dong, it comes back on.
If I was like the original,
Double click it.
If I touch it, it's
Don't
double
touch
click
it.
Touch it twice.
Yeah,
That'll be off then back on. It's perfect.
This is I should probably just like some of these are confessions, but I think people to get towards the end and they're close enough and you start going, you know what? But this week in Coquille, Oregon, they knocked down one of the last historic buildings in Coquille. It used to be this place that there was a whole bar row that was no longer there. Like I remember as a kid, fucking assholes shooting off fireworks at each other down Main Street, and I kept thinking someday when I grow up, I'll be one of those assholes. But I didn't get the chance at those bars because that all went down. And then the problem is most of the buildings were fire hazards, and people in Coquille, as the economy turned to meth, partied a little too much or whatever. And anyway, those buildings have either burnt or whatever. But the one that was right next to Bill's place, the Stag Bar, which we now understand what was going on there, was the movie theater, the Roxy. It was called the Roxy when I was there. It had a couple of different names. I saw people commenting on it. But this guy took I had some drone photos, and it's cool for me to see, how, it's like, it's not just me. This town really from up above looks like a fucking war zone.
Was it called the Brandon Theater?
It might have been. That might have been the
like an older one, like
it was like built in 1910 or 1920. It's where I stood out as a proud born again Christian, or I don't even know if I was born again at that point, but I did not want porn infiltrating my town.
You helped protest.
But it was in the, it was in the bar where you dropped off the newspapers, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. So I deliver papers, but I got pretty handsy at that theater. That's what I remembered. But they're showing it got tore down. Yeah. Is that it?
That's pretty nice. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. But see how all those buildings, they're all fucking, once the day was over, those were like just fire hazards. But anyway, so the Roxy Theater was like an old, that's where they just had movies they could get. They weren't worried about, nobody's going to get a newspaper a week later and find out about a star. It was like nobody had any information there. So
no spoiler alerts. We're going to ruin.
And as long as they kept it under that.
They played there in 1983.
Yeah, as long as it was like PG or parents didn't fucking investigate or care. That's how I saw Humanoids from the Deep. But there were a lot of like the Cars That Eat People. Just like I don't know. I don't want to judge, but it seemed like senseless violence. And I couldn't follow the plot.
People,
yeah,
just reason.
Whatever, but like in the tomato one, that one come around too. But
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, they'd have double features, and they, sometimes didn't even make sense together. You'd see a rom-com and a slasher or whatever.
Well, sometimes since you weren't getting first-run movies, what they used to do is they used to take two horrible movies and they would be promoted together because they would be shipped in the same containers. So they would get a classic one is like War of the Gargantuas and Monster Zero. I've got posters of that. So those would travel the country as a double feature.
Yeah, that's what we got. We got those,
Yeah.
and then eventually we got deep throw, but that was that was not long. I don't even know if they got to show it. I sure wish I had pictures of that because I was holding a sign and everything. I was against it though.
Protesting?
Well, I think I didn't like the, it's like she gets she has orgasms from sucking dick as a kid. It just didn't make sense to me. Yeah. But I wasn't into porno then, and then I went down to California and I was into it. My coach showed me. I got it. Not only was I into it, I also had a favorite actress.
Well, not only were you into it, but you were into it.
Yeah, I was a full participant.
Yeah.
I was all around the same time that I went on those trips and I'd come home to grandma's and wank off. Watching, but then I was thinking about this. It came up because, this movie theater. I was like, man, I mean, everything that was cool that happened to me sort of sexually. At least I thought maybe I was a toxic male. Yeah. I got sexed up by watching pornos, and then I would come and try my moves on the 6th and 7th graders at Coquille. And I was a 6th or 7th grader, so relax. But I would come.
You weren't the math teacher.
Right.
You weren't Matthew McConaughey in
right. So I was taking what, coach told me or whatever. He wasn't interested, but just kind of puzzling it together. And I know this happened is I won't even I'll alter their names so that they won't even recognize the other one. Let's say Deborah was sitting downstairs and Tammy might have been upstairs, and I worked them both without any kind of remorse or situation. I wasn't dating either of them really, but I was like hands all over, and I deserved to get whacked a few times or whatever, and it wasn't my MO later or whatever, but I think I just was trying to figure.
Well, yeah, kids, you're in 6th grade. I mean, you don't know what.
And then I realized when this happened, this was probably several double features up the road. Is this one girl let me put a finger in her, and she grabbed my penis, and I don't know why I didn't start like that should be my girlfriend. It didn't.
Well, I mean,
I didn't have any sense to it.
Now, do you really want that to be your girlfriend? If she lets you do that,
know, maybe.
Yeah, through those years.
Everybody's girlfriend usually.
Seems like everyone's girlfriend at that point.
You remember her name? You could look her up on Facebook.
I remember she was really hairy for her age.
Oh boy!
Yeah, we're at the age now that you do not want to start looking those girls up on Facebook.
No, you don't want to look up. You don't want to look up a girl who had arm and she was very thick hair all over, but especially. I mean, for a 7th grader.
Well, that's it, dude. Now I get it. See, you had been trained by your molester to know what it was. You thought, that this is what sexy is. So now you get a girl with a big hairy arm, like you're like, oh yeah.
It sure, all that over the pants clumsiness. What's that all about? Yeah, it's just. I mean, I wasn't the one who put it there either. That was the cool thing about it. But also, now looking back on it, it was a desperate cry for help or something. Something was going on probably at her home.
Yeah.
And I was.
She's got a podcast too.
Maybe I was like a bee. Maybe I was an escape from that, like the Car City people, or whatever. We also, and this was before I got into that business. Me and my brother Jeff would throw milk duds at other people. It didn't matter. We weren't like looking for kids. We were hitting heads. Yeah, and a lot of times they would turn around and want to kick our asses. That's why we weren't good fighting partners. A lot of times I didn't believe in the cause. Like fucking every man for himself.
So hey, just so you know, Andy, in case you want to run down memory lane, on YouTube, The Cars That Eat People, the full movie is available. Yeah,
I remember. I don't know if this is the opening line, but I remember this. It also, man, I'm butchering it because it's like my comedy act. It started out in Paris, not Paris, France, Paris, Texas. or he says either that or Paris somewhere else. I used to sit. I was like a fucking weird, when I didn't get sexualized, I'd just sit and be fascinated by that stuff and run. I used to race home to watch Speed Racers singing the theme song. I was like one of those kids that I wouldn't want to have as a neighbor.
It's so weird, Andy, because it's saying here. You see the thing behind me. It says the cars that eat people. There's also the cars that ate Paris. It's the same exact.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's even the same
too.
year. So it looks like it was rebranded. It's a New Line Cinema, so it wasn't some flash in the pan. But yeah, it looks like they may have.
It's got Paul Newman in it.
Quality.
Did I tell you guys about the time Hollywood came to Coquille?
I think we've heard this.
Yeah, they did a
movie.
a piece of shit movie, I'm sure. And in fact, Premonitions was the original title. Now there's been a couple other shitty movies, but less shitty than that one called. But I think Frankie fucking Avalon was the star of the movie in Coquille. I mean,
so this is not the movie that you told us. We've heard the story, the great story of you in the Prefontaine movie.
Oh, no, this was in Coquille, they filmed some scenes, and I remember seeing like a would have been a stand-in for a dead guy, I guess, or whatever. What do you call it? Just like I guess it was a slasher film. I remember watching it once when I was a kid because it came out in Coquille and people felt compelled they had to watch it, but there were tits and people getting cut up in the sawmill. I believe. I don't know whatever happened. My nephew, I'll ask him. He actually knows the new title of it, and it's sure it might be available. And wow, it'd be fucking cool if they had like John Lindgren and Teresa Mulvihill in it, but they probably couldn't work with those folks.
Hoot Looney and
Sniffer
Riddlin.
Sniffer Riddlin would have been.
Don't forget the.
Oh my God, all of them.
Detonator.
The Detonator.
Just introduced to us last week.
Yeah.
Is this thing working?
What was the kid who swung the chain?
Cripple Kenny.
No, it was like Stumpy or something like that.
I think it was Cripple Kenny. Right?
No, there was a kid who swung the chain on the bus.
Oh, real Squint, yeah.
Squint.
Squint.
I mean, Squint was very a rebel with the cause. That actor, it was.
Well, you're squinting all the time. It goes with.
I don't know. Yeah, he's kind of like he was just fucking shy of cool. If he, maybe if we would have accepted him and not labeled him Squint. And all this shit's coming to me late in life when it's almost too late. Squint's
that was
his
cool. That was his cool move, was to squint. And then you guys called him Squint, and then it wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah, and then he was he got in fights with his brothers and his family, and so we used him to fight our fights, and never really it's like after he got on the bus and swung at people and shit, we should have been like, let's make him at least the guy, what do you call that guy, the fucking guy who's not on the team but carries around stuff.
The water boy,
kind of like equipment manager.
Yeah, like equipment manager. Like we could have included Squint, and maybe I assume things. I mean, they went squirrely when he got kicked out of. He took our principal hostage. That's the kind of thing that'll backfire.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that goes with you. You don't.
Yeah, but it was fucking cool. Now looking at it, it was Squint. He had the Larry the Cable Guy, vest on, and he was riding his bike or somebody's bike. Now that I look back, probably wasn't actually his. And he rode it down our hallway, which was this long, kind of concrete-esque, shit. And he was just riding that down and throwing firecrackers like that guy listening to Sister Christian and Boogie Nights.
I was picturing the guy at the end of Dr. Strangelove riding the bomb.
He was like, I guess he knew he wasn't going to be. He must have got his report card early or whatever, because they would play music at the end of the school year. Like the last week we'd get like disco was what I guess was the music of the day. Like I remember that player was a band player. That was
Baby Come Back.
Baby Come Back. and then all of a sudden here comes Squint down the, the doors open, and Squint has, I didn't hear any pops till he got past me, but that's what I heard, is he was throwing firecrackers, and it was like cool. It's like, the end of school year, we're blowing off some steam. That guy we never talked to that is riding down the hall, but then he went and took the principal hostage for at least a couple hours, and I think it was either
a couple of hours.
A knife, implied knife, or just him being Squint.
That's fucking kidnapping, man. That's a federal fucking. The FBI shows up for that shit.
Well, I don't remember that happening, but Mr. Reiner.
Well, I mean, sure, you've got sawdust checks and teachers making out with your girlfriend.
Yeah, but this was middle school, and I think our
they didn't want a whole lot of attention.
Yeah. We can handle it. No cops, man. I don't need no cops coming in here and asking a bunch of questions.
And Coquille will write a passage.
Calm down. Put down the knife.
He never made it to high school.
He'll fall asleep eventually.
If Squint had made it to high school,
play a violin.
I would have liked to think that we would have made him honorary equipment manager for that stunt in and of itself. Now that was like the end of Squint, and then I didn't see him again till Facebook a few years ago when I was looking him up.
Yeah, what's he doing now?
He's dead. He looked like he had a rough go of it, but
you went on Facebook, and the thing you found out about him on Facebook was that he was dead.
Yeah, he was dead, and nobody, his page he wasn't updating.
Maybe he just quit Facebook.
No, he died. I think somebody posted that he.
You need more than the fact that he's not updating.
Somebody posted on there, "Hey, everybody, fans of Squint, I just want to say it saddens our heart to say that Squint lost his battle today with the great principal in the sky."
Yeah, like maybe he's got Alpiner cornered.
Everybody was posting selfies with Squint.
He would be, he would be like an influencer type now, and I bet if he, if he had if we weren't a bunch of fucking dicks in Coquille, and I say that knowing I was a dick, and I was a dick after leaving there. I was like, but I was more, I took my dickness out on myself. Whereas other people like fucking, root up people's lawns with their big 4-wheel trucks. We used lawn job and shit like that. Just kind of fucking.
Wait, you call them lawn jobs?
Yeah, we go up and give. The best one was Mike Reeves's place. We just do it repeatedly until it was just like a fucking giant rut, and it was like always kind of funny because the way he would. It was like the way he would react or whatever.
Andy, I got to ask you
appropriately.
Yeah,
get off my lawn.
Yeah. I mean, goddamn it, it's amazing. Anyone who's out of Coquille isn't a fucking complete asshole. I mean, I'm not saying where I fit into that.
Andy, when you do a lawn job, when we used to do shenanigans at night, when we used to do shenanigans in high school, it was under the veil of darkness, and at like 2 a.m. in Republican Orange County, there's maybe a couple dogs barking at the most. We were getting away with a lot of shit because no one was around. We weren't ripping through someone's front yard repeatedly. How would you do that? Would they see you do it and go, not again?
For one, I was never a lawn job, or I was a passenger. I had this friend who
no, if you're a passenger in the car, you're a lawn jobber. You are guilty of
part
the
of the. I'm part of the way
the guy with his foot on the gas.
And now
he didn't break the window. He just went into the Capitol building.
Yeah, I was with them dudes.
Wait, we're doing this. Hold on.
So when you were a passenger, what would happen? You guys would.
Man, I mean, this guy had a Colt Sievers. He had like the first CD player. He had a big jacked up truck, and there's not that many cops to catch people around there. So that was part of the fun, like a little bit, but just pull right into the, like a nursing home up into their green space, and just, you just hear the shit. And I mean, he really was a menace. I would take my car to the boat ramp, and it was funny because my dad would suspect shit like that, like the car
station wagon.
No, this is a horrible This was the Mercury Montego that was sold to my parents
right.
by the pedophile. And it was actually had some juice to it, and it was driven literally once by an old lady who had no trouble looking the other way while her son thumb handled young boy penises.
What?
Well, the first time I went down there, his mom saw the sleeping arrangements that he'd set up and just kind of slammed her door. I remember the old lady, that was the last I saw of her. She was just in her room.
She pulled a Joe Paterno.
Letting boys be boys. Yeah, she did a Joe Pa. She went down to her room to watch her soap operas.
Yeah.
Rest her heart. But I got her car.
Yeah.
So I drove that thing. I would I would watch shows like Dukes of Hazzard, mainly that. And
interesting that both situations tied to sexual abuse had the dangling of a car as a reward.
Yeah, and this was not that car. I mean, that was a separate car deal. He was going to get me a new car when I graduated. That's pretty much it. Yeah, cream colored top. I didn't get them sports rims, but I lost every fucking hubcap it had. But that thing I would take and just I got pretty good at spinning that around. But it just was like, if I were to do a lawn job in that, it would just fucking be mud on my shit. And my old man would know it, I'd cracked up the car before that. And this one I was supposed to take care of, but I dropped 2 trannies on it. Not what that's the wrong term.
Hood up pretty good.
That's the wrong term for it. I dropped 2 transmissions.
Yeah, we got to be more specific.
Yeah. I don't want to. It's not a hate word. It's what I did to the car transmission. I did alter it.
My question originally was way back. When you would tear out someone's lawn, even if it was the nursing home, you would do it and then split, or you would go back in and
no, you just go. Yeah, you'd just be like part of the route. You'd pull up.
Usually
it was one wheel. Usually one wheel, but my friend with the big truck, he would sometimes engage all 4, like monster truck rally shit.
But
I don't know if he ever got caught on that.
I'll answer the question. What Andy's saying is they didn't do it all over and over again at once. They would do it, then then the guy comes out and he puts sod back down and he puts some seed down and he gets everything perfect. And as soon as he's tapping on that last little bit of grass, everything's pristine.
Right, like Dazed and Confused, we go out and we'd do that too. And in fact, there was a friend of mine. I'm getting better at podcasting. I'll say a friend of mine was into exploding
199 episodes in.
Exploding fucking mailboxes, which I believe if I were doing that all willy-nilly up here, holy shit,
I think that's federal too, because it's the post office.
Chad
gave a very quick nod on that one.
I did this a few times, but mainly I think it was payback to a teacher that I use the good glue, and plus it smelled good too. And then glue their mailbox shut.
With what? What are you talking about? Like an epoxy or something?
It's kind of like our version of toilet papering or whatever. We go to 7-Eleven and fill up cups of condiments. This was mainly just, God rest his soul, that typing teacher. I think.
Man,
if he's not dead, sorry, we're the ones. And I'll name others.
I hope the statute of limitations on mailbox.
We throw, like relish, mayonnaise, ketchup on shit, sidewalks or steps. And then my little specialty for a while was gluing mailboxes shut. I don't know where I got it. It's not.
Never heard of that.
I don't know if it, I don't know how effective it was. I doubt I went back and checked it, but I just saw it. That was, it's like a
man, Andy. I want you to imagine, with all the stories we've heard about the battle between you and Kevin, your mail band. Imagine if a third player would have entered into the war and some teenager would have been randomly gluing your mailbox shut.
Oh man,
during all of that, and the level at which you would have fucking blown your top.
Put myself as the mailman, I would have been fucking, I would have been spiking their shit.
Oh fuck.
But that fucking Roxy Theater stirred up some confessions. But
I think I have a more recent picture, I believe. I think this is what it looks like now. right?
Yeah, that's it. Bill's place was right next to it, and then Juicy Fruit Cagley's barber shop was my dad, because he gave us
Juicy
gum.
Fruit Cagley.
That's what my dad called. I don't know what his first. I think it was. I don't even remember his first name, but he was this. You know, he had his hair greased back, and he had a mustache, and he cut hair, and he would I'd give him the paper, and he'd give me Juicy Fruit gum. And that took this, that weird taste out of my mouth from being in Bill's place and being just the right height to stare at the, the lower shelf porn magazines in there. But Bill's place, the barber shop, and then that theater, and then that was kind of, that's almost a third of Coquille.
Right.
But now, it's like if that was a thing that happened in a place, another, town or something, they would build something there.
Yeah.
It's like they just clear it and it becomes like they'll say it's parking. I was like, nobody fucking needs parking around here. You could park in the middle of the road there and downtown, and it would probably, nobody would.
You would only need to tear down a building to make a parking lot if there wasn't already enough parking on the street. I can't imagine.
Yeah. It's all street.
Coquille is so bustling that they're like, man, we'll circle around, look for a spot. It seems like the whole place is a parking lot.
If I had the money and tribe connections, I would open a mild size Indian casino and take every last dime from those fuckers. That was like most of the buildings in that town were like that. And that's where in that old building, or maybe it was one that was a couple over, is where that guy threw bleach on me. And when we were going around minority knocking, where you go, hello, we're a nondescript minority knocking, motherfucker, and then run.
You mean ding dong ditch?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Ding dong ditch, you cracker fuck. Because that's what I found. And that dude who threw the bleach on me is also up, if you go past the theater up, and there's a park there. And I was like the stand by me moment where I got, I was just a kid and this guy's pointing a gun at me. Like I was running amok, and we just felt like we caught our energy. I think it was carryover from ditch dock, whatever, on the door.
Don't try to say.
And he threw, yeah, no kidding. And he threw, maybe he saw me around and he knew who, I don't know, but he was down at that park and pulled a gun. And we just fucking took off, froze up, but took off. And he's just like a little, probably had it, man. You're living in that fucking thing, and you got kids knocking, going up them scary ass fucking haunted hallways and pounding on the doors. Like, your parents really should, fucking not allow that shit. But that was the cool thing about Coquille, is it sucks now, and it probably sucked then, but you could run amok. And I have a very limited juvenile record. I think it was only like one thing.
You never got taken down to the station and scared into?
Oh yeah, that just on when my friend drowned, I definitely got that treatment. But
oh yeah, it's a little different
when I did through but I mean the cop, I had run-ins with the police and stuff, but they caught me once, and a guy pressed charges on us and throwing potted plants on his car.
What? That is a good question. Would you guys all have a juvenile record? I had a pretty decent juvenile record.
Yeah. Mine was that. One thing.
Well, not really. Mine was kind of dumb. I had one shoplifting because I stole a car battery because for some reason
fucking car battery, carry it with two hands battery.
Yeah. Well, because you have to get it
in his pants. He was 12.
Yeah. Man. I know why.
For some reason, it was really busy, and it was not even for me. We were getting it for my friend. I was just carrying it. It was really busy, and I didn't want to wait in line. I was really impatient, and I for some reason thought like, well, it's a car battery. Like they're gonna, they're not even gonna really notice. Nobody's gonna expect you to. They'll just think it's a core or an old one or whatever. Nobody's gonna notice.
No one would be dumb enough to try and steal a fucking battery out the front door.
The plan is perfect.
Yeah,
it would totally work in a fucking town where they don't know who you are.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, they had you pegged when you came in. Keep your eye on that little Shank fucker. He's
well, they knew. Well, they didn't know me, but they knew my fucking narc ass other friend that was with me.
You were probably the only one of the group strong enough to carry it too.
He rolled over on me immediately. So I did get in trouble for stealing a car battery, and then I had 3 assault charges before I graduated.
Chaille, please don't show a picture of a black person stealing something when we're talking about stealing.
It's a car
find
battery.
a person of a white person stealing something.
I thought it was a good example of someone really brash in their attempt to steal. He's walking out of a store with a car battery on his head.
Now, if he shows the video and there's one of them guys in that little car going by, they're like, oh man, they've gotten us all. It's inescapable.
That little car guy's in everything.
Yeah.
I didn't have a juvenile record. The town I lived in was really small. We could pretty much just run around and do shit, but we never, the cops
never got caught.
Like our excitement was to stay out past curfew and try to get the cop to chase us.
Yeah, I did I forgot in college I got caught stealing a rack of beer.
But that's not, we're talking like, I mean, you're over 18 at that point.
No, I was under. Let's see.
What?
Maybe it was in high school.
Yeah.
No, that was community college.
When did you graduate high school?
I guess it was just like one of them things, but it went off of my record after a year. And I was like on to other scams. I was like, fucking, let's just get beer money by stealing books from the bookstore.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Air Jordans from the,
Guys, we don't need to steal the beer directly. We can pay for the beer. What? There's no way we can pay for the beer, Andy. We don't have any money.
I can't believe I didn't get into management.
Still steal and get the beer.
Like, look, we can make like $18-$20 per, the recycle. We did the, take the recycling slips and write our own out.
Yeah.
And we did that for a little bit, and then it went. But then I got, caught.
That was short lived though, right?
And because they were onto it.
Onto that one.
But then, there was a market where I would get, I mean, I guess it's definitely stealing, but I would go inside the beer cooler and get fucked up. It was like, we'd go in there like a Thursday afternoon, 2 or 3 of us, and we would go inside the cooler and drink pound beers, like chug them. I think my record was 4 or 5 beers chugged in a cooler. And then you come out and you're and you
ready to fucking barf from the phone. Were you shotgunning them or like
no, just chugging them? Yeah, I think we just tried, and then we try to put just put them back. So it's like we stole the contents, but we didn't physically take the I mean, it was felt like that was fun for 3 or 4 Thursdays, and we get the but that was it was like time, I mean, I learned in college is like these small time scams. I mean, I was still a nickel and dimer, but I felt like I was moving up the thing, and I was like always thinking if I would have kept up with that, man, I would be good at it now. But I stopped being a criminal sometime back in college. Community college was when I was a criminal. I think when I went to the other ones, I was like, I had too much schoolwork to organize a group to steal shit.
Get a crew together.
Yeah, I had a crew.
Our grift in high school was the same dude that narked on me for stealing the battery later went to be our great shoplifter and would just shoplift expensive small things from Walmart, and then usually Polaroid film was
that's a good one.
Preferred go-to because it was the most expensive small thing to steal. And then all of us would take turns. My grandma bought me this for my birthday, and it's for the wrong camera. And then we would get money back, and then we'd have beer money. And then he would also steal bottles of liquor. But so that was our grift.
I didn't even know I was a grifter. I mean, it just felt like, part of it, my upbringing was to lie and steal a little bit, misplaced stuff.
When I was either 13 or 14, we had a buddy who had a part-time job. And he wasn't 16 yet, but he had a part-time job cleaning up at one of the bars. He had to clean in the morning before school. So we would go in there with him sometimes and just the first time we stole a couple cases of beer, And then we were like, wait a minute, they're gonna be onto that. So then we took in empty like milk jugs, and we just filled up milk jugs at the tap, and just carried like 8 milk jugs of beer out of there at like 7:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, and we're running through town with these things. Oh my God. And then
day drinking in high school is the best.
We brought them back to my house, and we put, and when we did this, it must have been a case. It was cans and stuff too, because it was bottles too. We put them, we had to hide them. So we were in my bedroom was in the basement of my house. And we couldn't figure out where to hide because it was a lot of stuff. So we thought, oh, we can just put it up into the ceiling. We had a drop ceiling, I had all kinds of porn and all kinds of shit up in there, So I'm like, oh, we'll put this up, but we're putting in, cases of beer and jugs. So, I mean, we get
That's
it all
a lot of weight.
The titles all tucked down nice back in again. We're like, let's go to school. As soon as school's out, fucking party's on. And as we're walking away, we just hear this crash. The whole drop ceiling just falls, fucking shit everywhere. It was a fucking disaster.
How do you use wet corn?
That was it. We had a big cleanup.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you hire a 15-year-old kid to clean your bar?
That's
if it's like a tavern, I was gonna ask,
it's a tavern.
If it was like a tavern or something, I could get it. Yeah, but you would definitely have to go like, now look, guys, we can see everything is going, because you would have to know, as a man who owns a bar, everyone's trying to steal your liquor. It doesn't matter whether they're related to you or not. Someone's going to be sucking off.
Especially a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the kid who cleaned the bar, see, this is where we got him. The kid who cleaned the bar was actually a pretty kind of a straight-laced nerd. And we became friends with him because we found out he had this sweet gig cleaning this bar. So his deal was that, like, oh, yeah, I'll do anything you guys want, because he just wanted to have some friends,
He was your squint.
We were just using him. Yeah, he was our squint. Absolutely correct. And we just used and abused him because we were assholes too. And we had some good times till the drop ceiling incident brought it all to a fucking crashing down.
The music died, man.
Crashing down around us.
We had, I mean, I told you guys about that. We'd have these independent. It was sort of like, I guess this guy who was a DJ, but early days of somebody being a DJ, we'd have these parties at the community building right across from that movie theater. And that's when we would go, we called it the Over the Wall Gang. That we had like 3 or 4 of these parties, and we had crawl up over this little thing and fall into the kitchen, probably making quite a bit of noise. And after the first party, we had a pretty big police presence at the party, so that it was like really cool to, to be out there. Hey, officer, what's going on? And, and then go into the dance and then come staggering out later drunk and give them shit. And they knew what was going, they just couldn't figure it out. But we'd go just a little tiny space, and then we had somebody had the ability to, I guess you go in there and then unlock it, and then we'd bring the booze in, and it was locked. So the cops.
Wait, where's the booze coming from?
We get it during the day. I mean, we'd unlock the area during the day or something, or put our shit in there. So it was like this tiny little room off of the stage that I don't think that anybody, most people didn't even know was there. So, the cops would walk around, we'd be up on stage requesting music, and then slip over the wall, fall into the room, and do shots. And we were, eating at the time, this is a sore point.
Lemon drops.
This is a sore point for me, because the DJ was selling us cross tops, but he was not selling us cross tops. It was just rip off trucker speed. But I
think that's what cross tops are.
That's what a cross top is.
You were getting real cross tops, bro.
All right. Well, but he was.
Don't feel bad about that. We called them white. We called them white crosses.
White crosses.
But I thought it was amphetamine, not just caffeine.
I think it's a fine line. The caffeine.
Yeah. We didn't do those.
Caffeine. That's amphetamine.
I didn't even know I didn't even know the nose was really a gateway to I don't know what a gateway drug is, but I know what the gateway to drugs is. And that is just to take a big whiff of it. But so those were fun. And then if you go to that small gym in Coquille, you can see where when we had the last party, we got way out of hand and started smashing records into the wall. like, like 30, 40 of them, just flinging them in like Frisbees and breaking them. And
but this is when the DJs, because I DJ'd
LPs
at a junior high once when I was in junior high, and we did everything on cassette tapes. You're talking about a DJ who had albums. Was either mixing like 45s or like singles off of a regular long playing record.
Yeah, this was, I mean, and this guy just passed. He was like the Brendan Fraser in The Whale.
Yeah.
It's like, I asked my friend, I go, how many of you guys lagged him to his thing? And they go, they had there was a thing, a kind of a lift that helped a lot. But he looked, this guy, me and David Dalton looked almost similar. People would confuse us for each other all the time, but he was the DJ, and then we smashed. I think there were records he didn't care about, but we smashed them into the wall, and then they wouldn't let us have the building anymore because they're still. If you go there, you can still see where there's LPs in the wall, or little pieces of vinyl stuck around. Because we just like would do. We get probably it was the trucker speed. and it could have been, and I haven't drank this really since high school, but fuck you, Uncle Evan. You've ruined enough good times. That Evan Williams shit.
Yeah.
And
whiskey?
that Seagram's whiskey and Uncle Evan we would drink. And the Seagram's was the main one. And that, that is not good with cross tops. Even if they're, even if they're what do they call that? Pseudo effect. They still got us amped up.
Talking about like a placebo effect.
Yeah, placebo.
You didn't think they were real, but I'm pretty sure that your guy wasn't pressing his own pill.
They were real enough to cost my football team a chance that, well, no, we were going to lose anyway. It's just I embarrassed them by, I was too fucking amped up. I wasn't a good athlete to cover it. I wasn't a good enough athlete without some dirty tricks, and I didn't get and taught them dirty tricks.
So you guys are all running around and you're smashing things into the walls, and you look to your friend and go, "Hey, I think this speed is bogus."
Was it just you, Andy, or was it multiple people?
I was scapegoat. I got scapegoated because of when the dog had died, and we did the tribute and we got rolled. That happened week 1. Poor scheduling. You don't put South Umpqua as your. I mean, those were farm boys who were.
Everybody knows that.
Well,
and they didn't. South Umpqua didn't have to deal with the tragedy, much like the Buffalo Bills have been playing with a kind of a heavy heart when one of their players almost died on the field.
I think South Umpqua was
had to deal with the passing of Andy's dog.
Yeah.
Right before the game. That's a tough one.
And so we got beat. I think it was like 52-0. I mean, it's in history, so you can look it up. But we got our asses whooped, and it was because we weren't paying attention. We're because of somebody's goddamn dog. Oh, actually, I think the speedballing was my junior year because I got replaced because I stayed on the team. But after my dog died, and then our beating, I quit. Or was asked not to. Well, I didn't make. I was the first formally starting senior.
I quit.
That didn't make
the story.
I didn't
so
make
bad.
the travel squad.
Yeah,
which is it's like okay, so they want me to just rehab at home. But the year before, I was among other suspects on the speed train, but my egregious behavior on not being able to cover a much better athlete as a, fucking sayonara, man. That guy he had good coaching, but South Umpqua was the convergence of like 4 farming communities, and they were fucking, at the like my town was on decline, mill workers on decline at that point, and that's about it. And then those were all like fucking, they just beat the shit out of us because we had black tape because my dog died. That's what, coach didn't see that it's like, coach, man, we're not good enough. It's nobody's fault. Can we just admit that we're not as good as them? They're bigger, they're more motivated, they're athletic, or a lot of us are
50 points
product of
ahead.
inbreeding and poor nutrition. Goddamn it, our expectations were much too high, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to say any of that because I just quit on the first. Basically I quit when I got cut from the team.
Yeah, I'll bet you did.
I quit. It was like simultaneous, but I threw my gear at coach, and he couldn't get his swinging dick around the. He was in like Louis from Taxi. He was in that situation, so I could throw my shit, and he would have to run
he's in a cage.
through. Yeah, he was in a cage, so I was like, "Fuck you!" And then I quit, and he didn't come out to discuss it with me, fortunately, because that guy would have probably beaten the fuck out of me. He was a man's man. That one.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you wanted you back.
Yeah. I mean, and then it's like, good luck, put Neil Daniels trying to cover that receiver next week. And, it was I remember
Andy, you've told the story before. It wasn't
1 and 8.
It wasn't that you couldn't cover the receiver, is that you didn't try to cover the receiver because you just picked up someone on the other team and ran at them as fast as
I was grinding my jaw and I had
the bogus speed again.
Here's the thing too. Yeah.
And he threw all the DJ's records at the wall.
Yeah.
I'd had one of my only, I didn't get the ball much because our quarterback was a pussy and couldn't stay in the pocket. I was a receiver, but I got a kick return, or, they squib kicked it and it ended up, and I made some progress and then went the other way a little bit or whatever. So I was probably a little juiced up, from all that action. So when I'm out there, I'm still in special teams mode, I just had the fucking ball. And then, next possession, that's when, better athlete with better skill set, better coaching, better diet, more self-esteem, had a few inches on me. He just ran by me. And what I should have done is threw on like a cheap shot when he come up, and then that would have been my only chance to take the penalty, because this guy's gonna fucking burn me all day, fake injury, so I don't have to be the one who gets, it was gonna that was gonna happen. I got benched, and I'm sure that was that was probably 7-0, and it was 52-0 later. And this is what I told you this, but our coach told us after our junior season debacle of 2-7 that by God we would not have another 2-7 season, and I'm the only one who really took him up on that, because I was 0-1, and everybody else was 1-8.
So he was right.
Yeah, he was, yeah, he said, by God. And then that was like supposed to make us bigger, strong. We had
really look inside yourself and figure out how you're going to make it different.
We had a universal gym.
Well, it's kind of hard when if none of the standard practices work on the kids from Coquille, because the coach says, after you lose that 7th game of the season and you're sitting in the locker room and you're all sweaty and tired and dirty, and the coach is like, by God, we won't have another 2-7 season, boys. I want you to think about how this feels right now. Think about it all off season long. And these kids are all fucking amped up on fucking caffeine. And
throwing. Yeah, that's when we have our parties. Our biggest parties were in the summer. Get down there.
And then the other half of the team that's like, I'm going out for badminton. Fuck this.
Yeah, this sucks.
You can let her in badminton too.
I would have been. If that was a sport I liked, I was pretty good at whacking that thing, the birdie.
I like badminton too. We played badminton in PE. That was fun. We played badminton in college too, quite a bit. That was a good time. Get really high and play badminton, because you can swing the racket as hard as you can. Solid contact. It's like wiffle ball. You can make solid contact and feel like you really blasted when it only goes 20.
Well,
that's how I hit ping pong balls, but it didn't work.
Well, pickleball seems like that. I've seen pickleball on TV.
Yeah,
where it's kind of a scrunched in court.
Yeah. That's everybody's playing that shit now.
Well, that's why I see it now. They actually have it on TV where like there's people. It's like fucking cornhole now, where they're like, this is a thing. Not only is this a thing, there's sponsorship and there's a tour. And these motherfuckers,
Vegas was full. We were watching
I
it from
know.
our room.
But I don't know what is the ball. They smack that thing and it makes they're using a paddle like a ping pong paddle and it makes a loud noise, but I don't know what that ball is. Is it like a wiffle ball?
I think it's the paddle. I think the paddle's, it's almost like a tennis racket with the cover still on it. I think like that's where they're like, it's not like a wooden.
No, it's amazing. It's like sweeping the country and none of us has even looked at the equipment.
I'm too old to try that. Yeah. That seems like you gotta, that seems like you're reaching for the pickleball.
Oh man, yeah.
And you're gonna
seen those
pickleballs are like wiffle balls.
Yeah.
Like they have that league. I mean, legitimate sports league where it's like tag. Like
I've seen that too.
That come around way too late, but that probably would have been a sport I could have been, I had 4 older brothers that would throw beanbags at me and we get in fist fights and stuff. I was nothing else, able to duck and hide.
Andy would have been good at like, how like skateboarding has like vert ramp and then it's got street skating. Andy would have been street tag, like there would have been no rules really. It's just don't get tagged.
Jumping over dumpsters.
Yeah. Knocking shit over in front of the other guy, pushing them down.
Like John, call it Johnny Rambo, but just from First Blood. How he just fucked up that town.
Here's
basically hide and seek.
Here's a pickleball rig. They flat wooden paddles, like
they're wooden, huh? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's a wiffle ball. This sounds like right up our alley, guys.
I don't know. I got hit by, the ones that our teachers used were long boards, but
we had a principal that used to have something that looked like this one right here hanging in his office.
That's like a co-ed paddle. Those don't, that's nice ones. We had switches.
Yeah, your teachers went old school and
they got to be narrow with holes drilled in them so they get the
air resistance,
wind resistance.
I think getting hit with a fucking switch is way better than anything that was the option B.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
French kiss.
Right. Oh, would you rather get 3 paddles or 1 tongue lashing? You realize that tongue lashing is way worse than the paddle.
I didn't know it was
Mr. Larson over there. He'll make it quick.
Oh, I thought you said lashing. You said lapping. Oh man.
Oh, good. It's just a switch. Oh no, he fucks you with it in the ass. Oh God damn it.
Yeah, it's usually when a teacher gives you a choice and it's about punishment, neither of them are cool, sadomasochistic or embarrassing or time bucks.
Yep, it's either jail or the Marines.
That's the only thing I think I got busted for was being mistaken for my brother by a teacher who was a total dick. I ended up getting suspended because he came up and asked me. There was an orange fight. There were orange groves all in Orange County, all over the place. So the seniors would go out during the break, during the period right before the first break, and they get like big old bushels of oranges. And then right when the bell rings, they just start heaving them over to where the sophomore area was. And this one teacher who was a total dick, he was the one that approached my brother and told him, start picking these oranges up. And then he came up to me 5 minutes later and goes, I thought I told you. You didn't tell me anything. What? And we went back and forth. I go, you never, he goes, that's it. I know. Give me your name. I'm like, yeah, I'll give you my name. I didn't do anything wrong. And I ended up getting suspended.
Wait, you couldn't play you couldn't bring in your identical twin brother and say,
think of it as a thing. I mean, clearly this guy was confused, but I didn't even think of it like that. And the next day I was at home and my dad's all, hey, how come you're not at school? I go, I got suspended. He goes, what? And I explained it to him. He goes, all right, take the day off. We're going to go down and talk to them tomorrow. And this motherfucker, even though it was completely explained to him, he would not apologize or admit that he goes, well, I didn't like his attitude. What attitude? Yeah. You asked me if I was picking up, why I'm not picking up oranges. And I go, well, why would I? Right. You didn't tell me anything. Yeah,
it's like when a cop accuses somebody of something and they didn't do it, and then they try to arrest them, and then now they're in trouble for resisting arrest.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I didn't. I was what?
I should not have ever been in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Remember
the
that
same
stop?
reason I'm not trimming the hedges. I don't know, but fuck, I'm not doing a bunch of shit, right?
I was thinking how cameras have made it worse for like, criminals, but cops have had to adjust their games big time. It's like everything's different, in those juvenile situations or any situation. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's a fucking camera on it.
Cameras, I think
Cops
cameras
can't be
help. I'd
cops.
rather have more cameras than less, honestly.
More
But
cameras,
believe
really?
it,
More
there are more
cameras
than
than
you know of.
fewer. I'm
Fewer?
sorry.
Yeah, good one, Chad.
Yeah.
Chad's been doing books on tape, bro. It's like reading.
Got me on that one.
You've been just getting shit. Probably they play inspirational shit over there.
No, all the music that I hear at the factory is rap music. There's a
Through
lot
your
of
own-
rap music being played. If you're putting a car together, it really helps to have rap music just blaring.
I think
And
it's
it
beats
kinda
per
does,
minute more than
actually.
anything else.
It kind of does. It
Yeah.
makes you feel like something's going on there, and you can,
Have you written a rap that you?
No,
perform in
I
the
don't
desert?
think when you hear when I hear rap songs, Andy, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't inspire me to write my own rap.
I
Mhm.
should be singing this.
Like why?
Do you have a favorite rap song though?
This is how old, white.
Does it alter
confused,
the
and
way you
grumpy I
walk?
am. They all sound like the same song to me.
Talking basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Curtis Blow.
Uh-huh.
That was the rap song that I listened to.
Yeah, there's been some more since then, Andy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's on.
There's a lot of possibly offensive language in these songs that it surprises me. No one said anything, but the fact of the matter is that people who take $20 an hour to put cars together, they don't give a fuck. So no one's complaining. No one's like, hey, and that's good. That's a good thing, I think.
That's not.
Imagine
real
if there's
people.
a-
That's
if
only
there's-
online.
Yeah, you're probably right. This is real life. So no
I
one
imagine if there's a complaint, all the guys who want to hear that music would know exactly
yeah,
filed the complaint.
yeah.
And then that
exactly.
I've worked in warehouses before. There
Yeah.
is a fucking pecking order. There is an etiquette while you're working there. And you don't want to be on the wrong side.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the thing is, it's all part of a very kind of, I don't want to say lame, but you want to make the drudgery of your job feel something like a good time. So allowing your
I got
employees
an
to have
idea.
the giant speakers and just be blaring music while they do it is like a concession you make so that they don't realize that they should probably form a union and get better hours.
Yeah,
Put a
it's true.
disco
What if you,
ball in.
What if you get a bunch of people and then you guys do a flash mob and do Karma Chameleon or whatever, Karma Chameleon.
Or maybe the Thriller dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
That's a
like
good
And then
idea.
just go back to work.
We could have
Like,
like
you had a
guys in the
moment.
back with forklifts, like synchronized together with their forks going back and forth. It's a pretty good idea, actually. We could get a lot of views on TikTok.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
I think you should clip that and send it on tag Elon Musk. I think he'll implement it. Every time a certain song comes on, everybody has to jump up and do like it's an Outback Steakhouse fucking thing or something.
Like when they all get together and sing the birthday song.
Yeah, they all have to jump up from whatever they're doing.
I
and
think
do
we're
a fucking dance during a certain song to improve
bad idea.
morale.
It's really not a bad idea.
I think we're getting ahead of season 2 of what's that that factory show that we liked with all the
Superstore, whatever it's called.
no, the fucking one where they have to forget their whole life to go when they go to work and
Severance.
Severance. Yeah, I think we're getting the Severance season 2.
Yeah, they did have fun dance parties there.
Yeah, they had their dance party. Break
Never
up
got
the
back
drudgery.
into that.
Oh man.
I forgot.
Chaille, when
about it,
season
and
2
then I got
comes
rid of
out,
that.
when season 2 comes out, Chaille, dive in again because
Tuesday comes out, I'll watch the 3rd episode without watching any of them for context, and then I'll come on here and complain about it.
watch the 3rd
Yeah.
episode, then watch the 1st episode of season 2 and see if you can figure out what the fuck happened in between.
It's
I
hard
already
to.
got a little too. I
It's
mean,
good, man.
I did my homework for this week last night.
Yeah.
So when we want to start talking about that, we can.
Oh
Fuck,
yeah,
I
yeah,
forgot.
yeah, yeah. I actually have one too.
Oh, I'm
No,
excited.
I did. I watched what I was supposed to watch, which is the Banshee of
Oh
Inisherin.
no,
Yeah, oh yeah. Let's start with the Banshees of Inisherin,
the comedy.
which again, let me say, won the Golden Globe, foreign critics, press critics, or whatever.
Because they had a
Look
dog
at all
in
those
it.
awards
Look at the dog.
for best comedy or musical. So at some point in this movie, there had to be a really high quality amount of one of those two things. How did
They
you
putting
feel
a
about
lot on that bloody that's the big payoff. That's like Grizzly Bear Man could have been a comedy if they would have showed him getting eaten by the bear in like in a weird way.
What is this?
What?
Hold on.
Are you talking about?
I
the
want to
finger?
hear Chaille's review of the comedy The Banshees of Inisherin.
All right, I'll do it in pictures. Ready?
Yeah.
She liked it.
Yeah, I loved it.
That was me. 20 minutes. I go, are these two old guys like doing like, you're not my best friend. I'm your best friend. You're not my best friend. Why aren't we friends? It's like a fucking high school fucking melodrama. And I don't know, the dog was in there. I like the donkey.
The dog was cool.
Did you watch the whole movie? You didn't
Of
watch the whole
course
movie.
not. It was fucking horrible. It was
Oh my God. So Chaille, spoiler alert.
and kept going back and then it's like the one guy is fucking he gets drunk. Colin Farrell gets drunk and goes to confront his friend, but for not being his friend, and starts yelling at him. And then he talks to the fucking slow kid and goes, "Hey, go get his sister. I can't remember her name. Siobhan. Go get Siobhan."
Fracking.
He has to run like forever to go get Siobhan, and then Siobhan goes and they come back, and there's still time to intervene between this drunk guy yelling at the guy for not being his friend anymore. It's like their tavern was in nowhere close to anyone else. I had to walk 6 miles to get a fucking pint. He orders a pint and then he goes, where's Calm? And he goes, Calm, I think he's mad at me. You having a row? I don't know if we're having a row. Whoa, it sounds like you have a row. Maybe we're having a row. And he goes, here, I'll go get him. And he leaves his fucking beer there and goes 6 miles to fucking go to Calm's house where Calm refuses to answer the fucking door. What the fuck is this? And this goes on and on and on. And
that's in the first 20 minutes.
I stand corrected. I didn't see the comedy. Now I see it. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
That sounds funny to me.
Have you seen it yet, Chad?
No,
I had to babysit the whole week. So
the music is probably because those were original songs that he played on fiddle. Because every chance you got.
That's just the category. No, look, that's just the category.
Oh.
It didn't win because it was definitely. I don't think it was a comedy, but it most assuredly was not a musical.
That. But I think that's why it got put in there, because there was original music.
No.
I think people were so upset about
all comedies and musicals are in the same category for best.
They are?
I think people were so upset about the power of the dog not really having a dog that they saw this movie and it doesn't mention they have a dog, and it grabs the clippers and
looks
hangs
like
out.
your dog, Andy.
Yeah, fat, less. I mean, that was my dog in the day.
That was fantastic, Chaille. Thank you so much. That gave me joy. So now, Chad,
who was up for that part was Nick Cage.
About the Banshees of Inisherin, but I want to save it now. I want to give Chad a chance.
Yeah.
Now we'll get Chad's take on it, and then at some point we can. And Chaille, I would honestly, I think you should watch the rest of the movie.
I'll try.
Yeah. Watch it like a book that you're not looking forward to, but you've read 3/4 of it, and you just gotta go fucking. That's how I am with that Edgar Allan Poe thing.
Happens in the second half of the movie that I found even less funny than the things you're talking about in the first half of the movie.
I will definitely watch it.
It's really got quite a buildup now.
You've gotten squeamish since you started working for a company that's cars run out of control.
It's not squeamish. Now, first of all, that a lot of that data is suspect. Let's not go spreading misinformation on this podcast. All right, my stock's already nosediving. I don't need it out there that, you know, I don't know if you saw this story, but some guy tried to kill himself and his whole family by driving his Tesla off a cliff, and they all survived because you're so safe inside of a well-built and solid.
He killed him. Didn't he kill him with a knife later? Stabbings are, have you noticed how stabbings are making a sharp comeback? I know that's stupid, but it's like you know, that was a compel, you know, the fucking that date, you saw the Dateline, the Idaho stabbings.
Yeah.
And it's like this graduate,
the college kids that got killed by the guy.
Yeah, it's horrible. You
allegedly.
know, but the guy is like a fucking, you know, a crime, you know, he's trying to figure out how to do a crime. And yet he's got his phone pinging off of their fucking Wi-Fi while he's stalking them.
Not only that, he dropped the sheath. Came in near the dead body, and it had his DNA under the snap from when he opened it. I mean, you can't
always something
make it any easier to catch you.
I mean, and this guy was like studying, and he's like sending notes to criminals asking what they regret, you know, how they got caught and shit. Well,
he was doing that. I read an article on that, Andy, and that's not uncommon for people in academia to put a thing out there like, hey, anyone, I'm doing a study, I'd like some information on this. That actually happens. It's not not uncommon for people to figure that out. And the one person, the reporter goes, but aren't we just building a better criminal? He goes, yeah, but of all the people that do this, very few will go through and kill someone. They don't do that.
Yeah, probably a case where it's not like this guy was in academia and then all of these, you know, stories and everything made him start thinking. He probably was like a pedophile who becomes a priest because he's a pedophile. He knows if he gets into this field, he can he's gonna float around in it and revel in it without, you know.
I mean, there's some titillation probably in just the case study.
He had a bright future ahead, or did he? Yeah, that was I mean, it's just you know, it's like everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, but it was like, dude, you know, I mean, you know, I'm not encouraging stalking or anything, but, you know, it's just, there are times you don't want your cell phone on your person, and when you're fucking getting your
but even that, they'll catch you, they'll still catch you, Andy, because
I know cameras.
They go, oh, you notice that during the hours of the crime, the accused here's phone was turned off. It didn't ping any towers. Why would someone turn their phone off for
but
45 minutes?
Exactly,
he was in his car. We caught your car leaving,
and
then
to watch a movie on Netflix before you leave.
Yeah, but nobody turns their phone all the way. Yeah, that's what it is. You got to do. You got to.
And then
it, like, you know, someone else's car,
like, you know, on the opposite end of the spectrum, I mean, that guy was trying to commit a crime, and that husband who was like Google searching, you know, what's the amount of time your house will smell funny if you have your wife's head in the, you know, it's like a Google searching every fucking dead giveaway you could Google, and then not deleting it. But
yeah, I saw that video of them reading.
Yeah, I he's like the top 10 ways, like it's a fucking BuzzFeed article that he's gonna find to figure it out.
There's never a funny one in there right in the middle of it, you know. Like it's all still the murder stuff. There's never like, you know.
I still think a hot air balloon
got Bayo clips
hooked up to somebody at night. I don't know. Floated off, I guess.
Hot air balloon's hard to get rid of.
I know. Well, I mean, you know,
land somewhere.
There's no perfect crime, but if you had, you know, the ability to make a hot air balloon under the cover of darkness.
So wait, so Andy's, you're plotting the perfect crime, and the first thing now you're getting your crew together, like you're getting the old crew from community college back together, and you're gonna pull one last caper. Andy's 8.
Like if I was getting rid of Larry,
getting the team back together, and at the first meeting. The first thing you're like, all right, so, you know, Tommy, you got to get us a hot air balloon.
Well, I mean, you need a lot of helium. and it's fun to have around anyway.
Andy,
It gets
you
nice.
understand that hot air balloons don't use helium, right?
All right. I mean,
It's
I'm
kind
gonna
of in
get
the name.
see, that's why it's like
That's why you need Tommy.
Yeah.
He's the fucking hot air specialist.
He's
Why I
the
don't have
balloon
a-
guy.
it's why I don't have a crew around no more.
Andy's first caper, he pulled with a helium balloon, but when they went to take off, then they discovered that Andy had been huffing all the helium, and the balloon went up
It was
about 4
nitrous.
feet, and then it just fucking sank right.
And you do-
It
It
just
hit the
pissed off
curb.
the neighbors.
All the pit bulls came to attacked. Like, oh no.
What happens on the other end of the flight is not your business. You just captain the first leg, but that's held me back. All right, that's enough on
Not
that.
having a hot air balloon.
I'm not
Well,
giving up all my
are we
ideas.
Are we going to go into recommendations?
We can.
Let's
Yeah,
talk.
you
about
didn't-
what
I
you
actually
guys
have
have
one that I
watched.
did
You're
watch.
not a thumbs maybe on this one.
Well,
you
we'll see what
see
the
the
chat
end.
says.
Let's start with Chaille. Chaille's.
Okay, I actually watched a Nick Cage movie on the plane
Oh,
coming
man.
back, and it was an older one that I'd heard about but I'd never seen. It called Tin Men with Sam Roswell and Nick Cage, the two main guys. And it's about Nick Cage has a like he's OCD, and but they're con men, and they've got all these grifts, and I just thought it was really good, and I enjoyed watching it. Saw it to the end, and there's a good twist at the end, and I don't think
Sam
I'd ever-
Rockwell's great too.
he was
Yeah, he's
really-
he's one of them under the radar stars,
Yeah.
like Billy Crudup.
Sam Rockwell was great. Remember Confessions of Dangerous Mind? You ever see that?
I've
Chaille?
never seen that one.
That's the movie where he plays Chuck Barris, the host of the Gong Show.
Oh,
Chuck
really?
Barris's autobiography is called Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. And in his autobiography, he claims that he was secretly a CIA operative pulling all these capers while he was hosting the Gong Show. And that's the movie, and it's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Guys, I got the movie. It's Matchstick Men. I'm sorry, not Tin Men.
Tin Man.
I usually look these things up before we start the
Yeah.
podcast so I can get a tile up. But it's called Matchstick Man. I was confusing that with the Danny DeVito's Tin Men. It's a
Then
Matchstick Man, and it's
We're
very
all
good.
watching
Yeah.
Tin Cup.
When does Nicolas Cage come in?
This is about golf.
This is about this guy getting.
I mean, I do consider golf to basically be a grift. So I guess technically Chaille was right.
John Daly is he's crossed into both worlds, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
his kid's got a sweet college, his kid's just a fucking big fatty with weird pants on like his old man, and he's got a college, one of them name recognition or whatever image things that he does well on. That's a grift. And I mean,
You mean you're talking about? I think you're talking about he does cameos for money.
Well, he gets paid for his, name.
I didn't get that at all.
He
from what
can
said.
make
I don't know how
dough.
you got that, Erickson.
Yeah,
Name recognition thing.
it's $1.99. Got it down. It's
Yeah.
that's a language that doesn't quite connect.
I think that's what we should do for you, Andy. I think you should be doing cameos. You can make
Yeah.
some bucks that way.
I'll do
Yeah, but-
cameos for
but-
people who like are celebrities. Hey, Paulie, how's it going, man?
You'd only do
I hear
A-lister.
you kind of bummed about
cameos?
how your show went. Some people called out some shit. Take it easy, man.
Cameos
my
that
comedy.
celebrities never wanted.
Yeah. Check out my comedy special, man. It'll help you get through some rough days, called Last Shot.
Yeah.
It's free, for fuck's sakes. I got some hate on those, or not hate, but all caps said I should get a job at 7-Eleven. I was thinking, I wonder if I could get a job there. I mean, I had,
So
but
you read the comments?
a few. That one was just the first thing on a clip, so it was kind of hard to ignore.
There had to be more likes than dislikes.
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of that, but then I got a couple religious ones.
Uh-huh.
Like, how can you not be a
gotta feel
believer
good.
and stuff? And I was like, got down on my knees and was like prayed, and it's like, yeah, this doesn't work. So
Yeah.
no, I didn't do that. But anyway, so what you got, Chad?
I did not watch anything on the TV, so I have another book.
What did you? Okay.
It's The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. I listened to the audiobook, and it was another one that went through pretty fast and kind of bizarre. It's told from the point of view from a mentally ill dude and a kidnapped girl and a cat.
Got me there.
Is this nonfiction?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wait, it's nonfiction?
It's no. It's no. I'm sorry. It's fiction. It's a fiction book.
Yeah.
It's a horror story.
Yeah.
But it's like a psychological thriller, but it's pretty intense and very twisty.
Yeah,
I listened to the audiobook. It's really, really
I
good.
would think that listening to a horror story like that would be super creepy. Like it's right in your ear, you know, like you got your earbuds in and there's this voice just telling you this fucking scary ass story while you're, you know, mowing the lawn and shit like that. Like,
yeah, that's why I like those.
If you get into something good to where you're not thinking about other things and it really does play like a movie to where you're just making, like I could see, like there's one part where it's the kidnapped girl describes where it's a freezer that has holes drilled in it that you can open up and goes down in, and it leads down into a stairs that go down into a hidden basement, and it's, you know, you can picture all of this shit in your head. And
Chad, what are you doing when you're listening to these books? Are you doing something, or are you just chilling in your man cave? And
both. Sometimes I'll just lay there, you know, I need to get out of my head. I'll just lay there like almost like a meditation and just do nothing and listen to them. But a lot of times, you know, picking up dog shit, going for walks, you know.
What if I told you you didn't have to take that shit for a walk? No more books. Oh, fuck. Oh man. Yeah, it's like when I walked around with headphones listening to Sword and Scale, I always just felt creepy hearing about, you know, beheadings and stuff, walking around and kids catching a bus and shit. So did you anyone watch the it's number 1 or whatever on Netflix, and it's called the Axe Wielding Hitchhiker?
That's what it's called.
Watch that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard the story. Did you watch it, Chad?
I did watch that.
Yeah, it's kind of the story they don't really tell very well. It's just how easily rubed they were to not even follow the real story. But they get an interview with this guy who's like Jeff Spicoli, who intervenes in a hate crime, is what they go with as the story. And I mean, this guy's arc was he was an internet sensation, and he goes to fucking bottoms out 3 months later.
I know the story. I think I know the guy you're talking about. There he is.
Hi, he's like
he stopped a crime from happening, and then
he was like one of those trending things before we even knew what that shit was. But yeah, he's like, his whole arc was, and his whole basis story was just misreported and not even fucking you know, the dude who ran with it and made him famous was like the most clueless fucking reporter ever, you know, to run with this guy.
It says it happened in 2013. So
yeah, he was a really likable chap, and that's but he was, you know, they ran with him, and he was a nightmare dude to try, you know, they tried to make him famous, and that was part of the story too.
Interesting.
But it's worth checking out. It's an interesting story. It's like one of those documentaries where you get annoyed because you feel like, okay, what's the, you know, they're kind of murky on what the fucking end story was. But that's, you know, maybe they're slinging it along for a second one. Well, it's funny how these guys get famous, want to be famous, and then they're in jail, and then Netflix is making money off of them, and maybe they're, you know, I guess that guy makes money off of it.
Meanwhile, these cocksuckers canceled $18.99. Bastards. Fuck Netflix. pisses me off. Well, that'll wrap it, because I didn't. I don't think I watched anything this week.
Rap. What do you got? A favorite rap song from the line?
Yeah.
Or a line from the rap
Are
song?
they doing mumble rap? Are they doing?
I'm sure it's Lil somebody, but I'm not sure. So just listen to as many Lil raps as you can,
Or
and
check out Curtis Blow's new cut
Curtis
about
Blow.
the NBA.
yeah, that's also a classic, definitely.
Curtis Blow I would like to hear Curtis Blow going, what the fuck is the WNBA? That'd be cool, but that'd be all negative and shit. So that's
I
not
hate about
to put
that.
a car together with.
We certainly don't want to be negative on this program. So, all right. Thanks a lot, you guys. Thanks for tuning in once again so that we could hear Andy's
Yeah.
stories. Fuck it.
200. We're
No,
just getting to
next-
why we
next is
lost as a
200.
team.
We're
We're at
almost there.
199, dude.
Oh,
I don't know if maybe we'll have to think of something special to do for episode 200. I feel like probably we should have already been planning this if we were going to do that.
probably
but-
get a piece of sheet
I'm gonna be
cake.
on the road for the next 2 weeks, so
I'll celebrate quietly.
Well,
with
well,
sheet
that's
cake.
it. Maybe the special thing for episode 200 is there won't be one.
Wow.
that would throw a curve to everyone.
Chad gets Javelina attacks him. Brett gets killed in a rap song on the line.
I
don't
a
want to
giant
spoil it.
speaker falls on me.
East Coast West Coast beef takes place at the Ggreg factory.
I'm berating the young fellas on the line for this, how many times the N-word is said in this song, and then the speaker topples over onto me.
I choke on dog shit somehow. I'm slipping it.
Through it, it goes up instead of out, and comes back in your mouth. Ugh.
I feel like you're taking the glove off,
and on the
then all of a
YouTube
sudden,
news,
like a gust of wind as you're taking the glove off blows it into your mouth, and you start choking on a dog shit glove.
That could happen.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, yeah, or maybe I just read one too many negative comments on. No, most of them were really good, but they're, I like it. I kind of like it because it's like, you just do a show and it's like, just walk by, it's like a crowd. You can tell that one guy, Chaille's seen that one guy come up to me before or whatever, but it's like, you can kind of tell. And it's like, you don't have to say anything. I get it. You can tell by your body language.
No, the people who say something really have to say something.
Yeah, they
cannot go home and just curse you out as they drive home and go, what the fuck? They have to tell you.
Yeah,
your fucking art.
And it's exciting when somebody yells at you. I mean, it's not fun, but it's like, whoa, and that's what that's what the all caps one was. It's like, and then it was like, wow, somebody's yelling at me, but I realized, I don't take anybody seriously that uses all caps. For a whole thing, it's like
the all caps is for the word you're stressing in the sentence. You don't put the whole thing in caps. That takes the effect away.
Yeah, you know what? You don't have to watch the whole fucking clip. You know what is an even better thing? It's just to go, I'm so mad, I'm gonna go yell outside. It's like it means the same or whatever. At least your neighbors hear it.
Easier. What is your point of commitment on a free video on YouTube? You don't go like, well, we paid for valet and the babysitter. Let's just
yeah.
All you have to do is click close or go to your fucking stupid cat videos. What the fuck is the problem that they have? And then to leave that, it's
like calling out.
Glad when that desire to instantly tell everyone how fucking disappointed you are in someone else's.
How dare you use barbershop quartet? I hate that. God damn it. Yeah, so I got yelled at on the internet, but it's getting views and it's still
it's so good. It's so good.
But
that was a lot of fun watching it.
That was.
I caught it too late. I think you guys, it was just over.
I caught most of it.
You just got there when the walkouts.
Yeah. How did they? So like you watched it and like other
I watched it.
But
I was supposed to be a moderator, but I couldn't figure out that Google account, and so I ended up I was just in the.
go figure, right?
I don't know if they
Have you
had
had
it structured
problems?
differently than how it played out, but they seemed okay with it.
But people
Yeah.
could communicate with you
Andy
while
did
you were
yeah.
win as
watching it?
moderator and then got kicked out and had to come back in just as a
Yeah, but the fucking
chatter.
thing is it's unsuitable for most advertisers, and I kept getting kicked out into advertisers, just like anytime I'm on YouTube. And when I go to watch it, there's advertisements in front of it. So it's like,
Yeah,
you just are monetizing it differently, you fucks.
yeah.
That's what
exactly
we said
it.
to you when we said it's gonna be all glass dildos and, you
Mhm.
know,
Sell them Andrist sweatshirts. I don't even know who they are, but there's sweatshirts online that say
It's not
Andrist.
monetizable to you, not them.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Yeah,
Monetized
yeah. Just trying to get consumers back.
God damn it. Well, go watch Last Shot on YouTube.
Yeah, I've
Subscribe
been
to
just
800 Pound
leaving it
Gorilla. They
play
have
to
good
get.
comedy on there. They're good guys. I think I like those guys. I think they do a good job. A lot of the comics that we like and hang out with have been helped by 800 Pound Gorilla. So I think it's great that they put that out there, and there it is. Go enjoy it. Most of you have already seen it. Go watch it again. Why not?
I want to
I haven't
catch up
seen it
to.
That's
since
my
I-
recommendation. Watch Last
There you
Shot
go.
again.
I want to catch
dive
up to
right
Billy
into it.
Wayne Davis. I know that's a
Go watch
lot.
Testify by Billy
Yeah,
Wayne.
yeah,
Davis, if
Billy
you haven't
Wayne.
seen that. That's also very good.
We're on the channel.
Very white outfit, Billy Wayne, and
Yeah.
Testify. It does feel very preachery in its
House
in
painter,
its look.
murderer type.
Yeah, maybe a house painter on his way to work.
I haven't seen the I think first week of February, the Alaska Before You Die Fest is going to post the people that are going to be that got picked for the 2023 edition of Before You Die Fest. So keep an eye on that. They had some really good comics last time, and I keep wanting to find out what's going to happen. I got to wait like everyone else. So I know it's not us, even though they use us in all their fucking online presence and branding. They have the picture of us when we did the first podcast
Yeah.
at Coots.
Yeah.
That's in their online presence. Is us on stage with Andy telling the story about kids in the bus escaping.
Oh my God. FFA kids and the special needs kids loose during recess.
You kids round up the fucking special needs
Well,
kids.
that was coupled with the pig neutering.
Yeah, the pig was loose. It's
fucking one of the weirdest things that could have. I'm glad I didn't do.
Did we ever decide
back then.
Did we ever decide if the audio from that it exists?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh my God.
I saw that picture the
I
other
wanna
day
listen to
and
that.
started cracking up just at the picture, remembering.
What I love about that picture is there's 4 of us sitting there and there's 5 Bloody Marys, and there's already one in each of us before we even got up there because it was 11 in the morning. And we were
Plus,
all
we were probably still drunk and high
wasted
from the
the
night
God,
before. Like that
yes.
was one of those, like, you just wake up at,
We
at
get
10
that's one of
a.m.
them
and still
places you
kinda
definitely
drunk
feel
and just
jet lagged.
lean into it.
Well, we were there on Friday night, and I asked Cass, what's going on in this podcast thing tomorrow? She goes, yeah, they're going to be here at noon. I go, so what equipment? She goes, what? And I go, what's your setup? And they hadn't planned anything. I go, no, you need to run a test. And so I go, that's what we did. I go, just have we'll do the tables, we'll set up. We'll be here at 11 in the morning. So we got there at 10 and started drinking Bloody Marys. And then at 11 to 12, we recorded basically the first podcast of Issues with Andy before it was anything. And she fucking just hit record. I didn't even ask her. She just recorded it. And then at the end, she handed me that fucking thumb drive.
It was the best podcast we ever did.
Issue 1.
And yeah, we should put the audio on Patreon.
Let me see if I can find it. I got a lot of stuff to do before I split town, but if I can find it, maybe we'll put that out on Patreon. It's just an audio. I mean, that's all it is.
Put out before, hasn't it?
Maybe, but I don't remember hearing it again. I want to definitely.
I'll look and see if it's been out.
God
I thought it did
damn
go
it.
out.
I thought it had for sure, but if not, I mean,
We didn't even have
probably-
Patreon back then.
No.
We just
Well, we didn't have a podcast back then.
right.
We were simulating a podcast.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, that was.
It was great. It was so good. It made us think this was a good idea. And now we're 200 episodes in.
Maybe we should put
still
one out
doing
as
it.
200 and just go
Flat line on
get a
views
flat
and
cake and
audience. We've
hookers.
never increased. We just keep doing it anyway. Because
when we did the Las
we're
Vegas
chasing that
one,
first high.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm glad you addicts are out there. We love you. Join our Patreon. Maybe you'll get to hear it over there if Chaille can find it. We have other good stuff on our Patreon, and very simple to join, just $5 a month. You see the info right there. If you're just on audio, it's patreon.com/issues with Andy. Very simple. And join us on Patreon as well. We love you guys. We will see you next time. I don't know when that'll be. Who knows when that'll be?
That's sweet. Listen, I'm gonna be gone, but I can't do anything crazy like a board meeting or something. But we're gonna continue to do the episodes while I'm away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, there you go. So the tension was there on whether we would be back. It was going to be a cliffhanger, and now it's out there. We're gonna be back. You can't stop us. You can't stop this machine. So we'll see you right back here next week. We love you. Later.